Yo, what is going on, guys? Season 3 of Konosuba is on its way. We are super stoked. We're going to do a little recap, kind of tell you what this anime is about, kind of recap what's been kind of going on season 1 and season 2, and just talk about, some of our favorite moments, our favorite scenes, and some of our favorite characters. First of all, Konosuba is an awesome anime. It's an isekai, it's a comedy, and it's pretty much slice of life. We have like a story of, the typical defeating the Demon King, but not really any real progress, some accidental comedic progress. Um,
Yeah.
stealing one of the general's heads. But other than that, it doesn't seem like they're, too hasty or aggressive to rush and complete that. But pretty much, you have Kazuma. He's just this absolute idiot. They actually all are, which they're all perfect for each other. It's the best. He ends up dying, and he gets absolutely bullied by the goddess that awaits him, which is Aqua. He's given a couple of choices. He's given the choice to go to heaven, which Aqua says sucks because you cannot have sex. So she's like, I don't know why you'd want to do that. And then she's like, you can either be reincarnated as a baby, you have no kind of memories, you're a baby and that's it, and you have no recollection or memory of your previous life, or you can get brought back in and reincarnated into this other world that has a massive population problem. It has a demon king, this big bad demon lord or whatever. And everyone is kind of choosing to just go to heaven when they die on that world. So they're trying to, entice other people to, populate that world and to hopefully defeat that Demon King. So, it's a safe world again. So part of that is you can have one of whatever you want. So it's either you can have something that's brought with you, a certain power, but you get pretty much a wish if you choose to go there. And they'll also like make it so you understand the language, so you can read, write, and then speak it. So after bullying him for probably like 2 hours, just absolutely ripping him apart, he decides to bring her with him to this world. So her dumbass is dragged to this world, and she is stuck there until the Demon King is dead. So obviously she's pissed, but then it makes for just such a funny journey. They are like two peas in a pod. Yeah, they kind of grow their party to like four people. You have Darkness, you have Megami, just the funniest characters. It really is a great anime. It's really slice of life. They really don't do anything to go after the Demon King yet or get stronger, but it is very, very funny. Blake, you kind of want to talk about what's been kind of going on in the past 2 seasons? And I'll try to help out too.
Yeah, so like catching up in anticipation of season three, like going back to the beginning, it was like a really good reminder of like how funny they are, and like they all kind of meet unconventionally. Like Megumin kind of saves Kazuma from like these giant frogs, which is like just kind of ties in that theme with like how pathetic he is sometimes. Like the
They
way he
both are.
dies.
They
Yeah,
both
they
are.
honestly they all are pathetic in their own way, but that's kind of why we love them. Like
Yeah.
he has a heart attack trying to like save this girl from getting hit by a car, kind of like Yu Yu Hakusho-ish, like very heroic. Well, then you find out she was never going to get hit by this car. It was a slow tractor, and he basically had a heart attack over nothing. He scared himself to death
And
and
then shit
then peed his
himself.
pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, basically fucking shit himself. So like very hysterical right off the bat. Yeah, Aqua's like totally bullies him, and then he brings her after like getting berated for hours to like this new life together. Um,
Which they're broke.
yeah,
They
and
have no money. So
yeah,
they
and
live in a
like
barn
you
together.
yeah, they're like living conditions suck. Like they kind of have to work for money and like take on these quests and do things they don't want to do to get money. Well, once they get money, they go back to like the hall there and party with everybody, have a great time. They drink.
Yeah.
They're like, I think that you can tell like their relationships. They get closer, like their bonds. You know what I mean? Get a little bit stronger as they do like quests and party together and stuff. But it's always kind of the same theme. They like I thought you said it well. They accidentally and like comedically make progress, even though they're not really like they don't really have the ambition to do this. They're just kind of there to like have fun and do what they need to do to get by. But like they do end up making progress, whether
Yeah.
they like it or not.
Pretty much, like, Kazuma's goal is to make money and get girls. So that's all he cares about. That's why he's there. That's his main focus. Aqua is an idiot. Aqua is, I'm a goddess. I don't want to work. Kazuma, you work. I need money. I need a house to stay in. I need a bed. And then she takes all that money that Kazuma makes and gets shit faced. And is just in the guild hall doing party tricks and then always ends up puking. Um, You have Megami, who has no intention of really doing anything at all either. She just wants to make things absolutely explode. That's all she cares about is blowing things up, castles, mountains, anything. And then you know have Darkness, and yeah, I think you said it best before we started this. She is one of the most horniest anime characters ever. She's just asking to get punched in the face because she loves that, or run over, or whatever. It's she loves. She's a glutton for pain. So that pretty much sums up the entire series. To be honest, that's pretty much season one and season two. Season one was more so focused on them kind of building the party, kind of getting stronger, and then they also accidentally ran into that general because Megami kept blowing up his fucking castle every single day.
Yeah, like practicing on it.
Yeah, practicing her explosions on it, and he comes down. He's like, "I am trying to sleep. Who the fuck every day is blowing up my castle? It's not cool. I don't like that." And then Kazuma steals his head, so and ends up like defeating him, I think. Um, and then season two is him just getting rich. He's taking some of his designs from Japan, bringing them into this world, and then selling them, and he's making millions and millions and millions of dollars. So now they're just swimming in it, and it's just them just being absolute idiots. I think it's just so funny. What has been your favorite moment so far?
That is really funny. I forgot he sells like his ideas and designs. He gets rich and like immediately lets it like affect his personality, go straight to his
Well,
head.
the first thing he designed is that I forget what it's called, but it's that comforter that goes on the table.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
the entire like I think the first or second half of season two is just him sleeping under it. He refuses to leave it, and they're like,
yeah.
"Dude, like, get out from under the table." And he's like,
You
"It's
got to go
so
to work.
warm."
If I had to pick some of my favorite moments, I can't remember her name, the chimera that like abducts Kazuma, and he's like totally set. She's the one, she's got the body, she's got the looks, but there's one issue with her. He's totally ready to abandon the party and everything,
He did abandon.
and
He
like he
surrendered himself.
he was like
Yeah,
completely
he's like,
given up. He
take me, and she
in
did.
like his position and whatever. That's hysterical. That was hysterical. Um, just like some of their interactions, like Darkness, I find really funny. Like her, I guess you could say, yeah, her like etchiness, her horniness, her like masochism and love for pain is like hilarious because she always ends up being the damsel in distress, even though she prefers that. You know
That's
what
what
I
she
mean? She
wants.
wants it
Yeah.
that way. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I love about Darkness is that it's not like a weird way though. You know what I mean? It's like a funny way where it's like it's not like overly sexual. It's more so in the fact that like she loves to get hit or something, or they dragged her on the back of the horse. They tied her to it,
Yeah.
and she was dragged from town to town. And she's like, "Oh, I hate this," but then she's like loving it. Like I find that so funny.
Yeah.
But dude, that scene that you're talking about, so many things happened in that scene that were so funny. Remember how that scene set up? They went to Megami's family home. They found out that he was going to be rich and like, Megami, you're going to marry him. And they started locking them in that room together. And
Yo, that was too
he kept
funny.
making it cold so she'd have to cuddle with him. And all that shit was so funny. And then when she made a move on him and he kind of freaked out, that's when the Chimera came. And he was like, "Oh, fuck." He's like, "You interrupted me." So he runs out to try to kill it. And he's like, "Oh, big booba."
Actually,
You know what?
yeah.
You instead.
Yeah, they're like really off-putting Kazuma at first, and then they find out he's rich, and it's like, oh, a very perfect husband for our little Megumin.
Oh, because they're like, "Oh, we heard lots about you. Megami sends us letters all the time about how you're a massive pervert and keep like perving on her and making all these inappropriate comments. Like, well, you're a piece of shit." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm about to sell an idea for about 30 million." And he's like, "So like, oh my god, you are our
Oh,
prodigal son. Would you please have our
yeah.
daughter?"
What an entrepreneur. We love you.
Because
Yeah,
her
they all have
family
like,
is just dirt poor, like just so poor. So to that, like, that's all they care about.
yeah, there's so many like irredeemable qualities. Like everybody's got some like really shitty aspect that makes them like A, hysterical and very funny, but B, like such a scumbag in like some kind of way, which I think just kind of makes everything funny. Like it makes their dynamics work well together.
If you had to rank the four of them, from your favorite to least favorite, how would you do it?
Oh man.
It's not like you don't like them. It's just which ones you prefer over the other ones.
I'm gonna have to go with Kazuma 1 just because he's hysterical. I love the way he's like completely insufferable at times, and like any amount of like money or like female attention immediately goes to his head, and he thinks
Oh,
he's the man. Like
immediately.
yeah, he's hysterical. I do like Megamine a lot. I think they give her some really badass like animation scenes when her explosions go off. And that was like really what pulled me in. I'm like, oh, she's like really badass. Just
Yeah.
for like one small part of the day though. And then
Yeah.
she's out of power.
Only once. And then
Yeah,
she
only
can't walk.
once. Yeah, and then she's like a huge liability on top of
Yeah.
that. I like her character a lot and her like rivalry with Yun Yun, who's the 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 bigger sister, if you will.
Dude, Yoon Yoon is so funny as well. I love Yoon Yoon.
Yeah, she's great. That like dynamic is awesome. Um, I'll go with Aqua number three just because like her dynamic with Kazuma is probably the best in the show. Like they're perfect for each other, even though they would never admit it.
Hmm.
Um, as much as I love Darkness being horny all the time, I'll put her at four.
Yeah.
What do they call her? Divorceness.
Divorce this.
Hysterical.
Yeah, I completely forgot that until you brought it up. Like, dude, I love her. She's so fucking funny. If I had to rank them,
Yeah.
I'd say Aqua number one, easy. I love Aqua.
Yeah.
I think she's
Yeah.
so funny. I think she's so annoying, and I feel like she'd be like the coolest to hang out with. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like it would be the most easygoing, like just such a fun time and just all the shit talking. Probably my favorite scene is the one where they were hired to purify the lake, and she just sat there in the
Yeah.
cage. And he's like, she's so goddamn stupid. She thinks her fucking goddess little ass is gonna just sit in there and just magically purify and just not do any of the work. So he attracted the alligators, and then she's like, purify, purify, purify. Kazuma, pull me out. He's like, nope, not until it's done.
Dude, just like that interaction right there is hysterical. They're like so brutal with each other.
Yeah, and then she's just like in the cage, terrified, and then she finally like gets out and is okay. And he's like, "It's because you forgot she was a goddess." He's like, "You forgot that you're a
Yeah.
goddess? Like, how do you forget that?"
Yeah, how do you forget something like
She's
that,
like,
right?
"I'm just gonna stay here in my little cage where it's safe and I'm happy and we're okay, no outside world." And then she's like, "Oh wait, I'm a goddess. Like,
Oh
I'm
yeah, I could do
good."
this.
He's like, "You're an idiot." But then Megami's number second, number two. Megami is the best. I love that she got her own little side series. Dude, so awesome. I think she's so funny. And then yeah, Cosmo and then Darkness. Darkness
Fair.
is awesome, but I feel like Darkness also doesn't really have many other sides to her. I feel like they're kind of making her a one trick pony right now, which would be cool if they can grow with her a little bit more.
Yeah, that's fair. Just one side, horny all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a part of her like doesn't like fit in because like with Megami, it's her and Kazuma who are constantly going out every day and blowing something up, and then he's carrying her back, and you see a lot of that interaction because Kazuma has no like desire for Aqua, but for Megami, he pervs on her a lot.
Yeah, which I kind of think is funny because like Aqua's the goddess and like Megami doesn't strike me. Of like all the women in that show, she's like definitely like the plainest, if you will.
And that's the
We'll
one that
keep it
he's
like
the most obsessed with.
yeah, he's like always perving on her and shit. Like when I forgot that, but when they sleep at her parents' house, she's like, "Oh yeah," she always sends us letters about how you're like a total creep. You're always hitting on her and saying crazy shit. It's like hysterical. Imagine writing to your mom, "Oh yeah, the guy who like leads our party, he's like financing everything. Yeah, he's a total creep. He's like a total pervert."
Yeah, like he's absolutely awful and does and says all these horrible things, but things are great. I like
I'm
him.
having
He's
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
And I love, despite all of that, they decide to stay with him instead of with the good guy, the guy who's a hero who's just like super annoying. They're like,
Yeah.
no, Aqua, my goddess, please let me save you. And they're like, no, like, get away. Like that's what's so
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
is that there's such like a group of just absolute idiots. But you can like there's those moments where you can see just how close they are. Because like I said, they decide not to go with that hero dude. And like, why would we ever leave Cosmo? Like, no, like we're a group. When Cosmo was not going to be reincarnated when he died, and I love that interaction too with Aqua and her her one kind of not like a servant but her underling, one of the lesser goddesses. She's like, hey, get him the fuck up here, reincarnate him, do as I say. Because like, and she gets all pissed off that like she's kind of liked more I forget her name, but I love that interaction between Aqua and the other goddess. I think that is so funny. But yeah, there's all those little moments where you can tell that they mean a lot to each other.
Yeah, like they're crazy dynamic and like very electric personalities. Like they definitely butt heads sometimes and like make it harder for them. But yeah, there's moments like that when you're like, they do really like each other and they are meant for each other. Like they have a lot of fun and their quirks complement each other in a way.
Yeah, for real. Do you think, looking at season 3 here, do you think we're going to get any more into the story, or is it going to kind of keep the same pace where it's more slice of life, it's more kind of doing random little adventures and kind of just, comedy? Or do you think it with accidental story progression, accidental comedic story progression, or do you think it's gonna maybe dive more into it or kind of see how it goes? Because the weird thing is too is that like they don't like come out with new seasons often for Konosuba. It's been a
Yeah,
while, so it's kind of interesting to see how they approach season 3.
yeah, this has been a long time coming. So I think my guess, without having like dove into it too much, is I would say it'd be like half and half. Like you'll get your episodes where they're kind of like doing odd jobs and like whatever. I mean, they have money now, so it's a little bit different. They don't necessarily need to do like random crazy shit to get money, but I think they'll kind of do half of that, to be lighthearted, slice of life type adventuring. But then I think they will get into kind of like maybe a general or some more specifics on the Demon King, or maybe like flesh out moving forward what their real plan is, or like if they actually do start taking down some big dogs. You know what I mean? I definitely think we'll get a little more of that than we did in the previous two seasons. Is my guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't think that they'll ever actually defeat the Demon King because then Aqua can go back to wherever she came from. So I always feel like they are always gonna be trapped there, and there's always gonna be some sort of aspect. That's why I was kind of like, yeah. Do you think that they're eventually gonna evolve the story somehow? Because Kazuma doesn't seem like he's interested at all in fighting, and neither do the rest of them. I mean, Darkness would rather get hit than fight. Kazuma is useless. Megumi's got one shot and that's it. And Aqua like can barely find where she's at. Like she has no idea her name half the time.
And I always thought like Megamine would be like, end up being like a really versatile mage, a la
Oh,
Freren, kind of like
same.
this badass. Is
Nope.
completely happy with her one spell. That's all she cares about, and like that's it.
Well, to be fair, I think that the whole system of the mages is kind of bull in Konosuba. Like you can tell they're not caring about fighting and it's more just comedy. Because you watch her backstory of kind of like how strong a mage can be, and it seems very, very, very handicapped. Like it's not like but it's like, why can't she get skill points and just upgrade her mana so she can do multiple attacks a day, or maybe do one attack and then other mid level or high level attacks? It's kind of so weird how the magic system, especially for the Crimson Witches, is structured.
Yeah, and I guess you're right. It's more of like a plot point to like handicap them to keep them from getting super OP. But yeah, my initial like assumption would Megamine would blossom into this like ultra badass mage,
Yep.
but
Nope.
it's definitely not. Everyone's like very complacent and happy with where they're at, which I could respect. You know what I mean? I respect it.
Yeah, actually, I really like that about them. Is kind of like they're just doing their own thing. Like they're unapologetically themselves. You know what I mean? Like Megami only cares about explosion
Yes.
magic, and that's what she's going for. And that's what she's doing. And it makes her so happy. And that's what's so cool, and that you'd like to see her do. And same thing with Darkness, and same thing with Kazuma. Aqua's the only one who's kind of just stranded there and forced to be there, but she's enjoying it as it goes, and trying to you know get the luxury that she thinks she deserves. I think it was so funny when we met her disciples and they like hated Aqua. She's like, "I'm
Yeah.
your goddess." Like, what are you talking about? They're like, "No, you're not." And they're like a cult. And I think we ended up learning that like, was he the one who taught them how to be like, so aggressive, like with their cult, like being of like how they sell people and trap people and like the pyramid scheme type thing?
Who's that? Cosmo.
I think so, or was it Megami? I think. Um, but I thought that was so funny when we met Aqua's cult, and they were like the most toxic, most annoying people you can possibly imagine. It's like perfect for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, perfectly fitting.
Yeah, I thought that was sick. But yeah, I'm excited for season three. I think that there's gonna be a lot to look forward to. A ton of laughs are gonna be coming in season three.
Yeah, like I'm excited for season three. I think there'll be a lot of laughs, like you said, and there's always like a couple really good animation scenes, a couple good like explosions. Obviously, there'll be some etchy scenes, so we'll be there. We'll be laughing the whole time, and I look forward to getting after so many years, getting to see some more of the gang in action.
Yeah, I think everyone was super excited with Megami's kind of like backstory. Coming towards the end of that season, we got a little bit of the content, a little bit of the taste. Everyone really wanted season three though, but towards the end of that season, when you start to see that overlap between her backstory, like the prequel per se, and then the start of season one. So I think everyone's ready for season three. I think that's super anticipated, and it is going to be absolutely amazing. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are ready for season three. Let us know down below what your ranking is for those four. Who you'd rank your favorite to least favorite. Of course, they are all our favorites, but let
Yeah,
us know in the comments down below. But anyways, guys, see you later. Peace.
peace.